That's kind of smart. Really? That's funny.
Nailed it.
Oh, we're live right now.
Hey. Oh my God, I started.
I can't see it on camera.
No big deal.
We're not required to dance. are we?
Testing.
No.
Yeah, come to you.
Wait a minute. Yeah. Just lose the energy.
Jamie,
There we go.
Jamie, listen.
Jamie.
Deer in the headlights.
Uh-oh.
He's leading us.
Yeah! Did you guys see that? That was amazing. That was amazing. It was like the wave.
Good morning.
Can we do the wave? Oh, yeah.
We messed that up. We messed that up big time.
Good morning, recovery.
Good morning, everyone. Oh my goodness.
We're having
Happy
a
Monday.
great time.
Wow, what a Monday.
It is Monday, isn't it?
Yeah.
I had a dream last night, and Monday was coming, and it was all bad.
You're dreaming about me, huh? That's great.
Well,
I
hopefully
mean,
it wasn't a bad dream when
No.
you're
I mean,
involved. I mean,
well,
would it be?
Do you want to tell them what you told me?
In recovery, we have these.
Yes, do.
We have these dreams. They're like we dream that we're using,
Well, yeah.
and literally, I was dreaming that it was Sunday, and that there was a big pile of stuff in front of me, and I was like doing it, and then I was like,
Oh, it
tomorrow's
was one of those
Monday.
dreams.
I got a drug test tomorrow.
Can you elaborate on stuff?
Cocaine, which is weird.
Wow, man.
Which is weird.
Mm.
So it was one of those dreams.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's an attack right there.
it was.
Yeah.
I woke
And
up
they feel so
stressed
real,
and-
don't they?
Oh my dude, I was like, I have a drug test tomorrow. I'm going to jail.
I always dream the night before a drug test.
Yes.
And in my
Crazy.
dream, I'm like, I gotta take a drug test in the morning.
Yes, that
What am I going to do?
that was the dream.
Man.
Weird.
Wow. Yeah. Well, the beautiful side is you did not really do it. And it's
Absolutely
great.
right.
So,
I have nothing to
and
worry about.
Happy Monday.
Absolutely.
So
Thank-
today's going to be a great
It
day.
is going to be a great day.
Hey, welcome, Josh.
Thank you. Thank
Look
you
who we got. Josh.
Josh?
Just give it a shot.
Dizza-
All of you.
Dizza-
You know it. You know how to say it.
Jessica Mousy.
There you go.
How do you say your name?
In America, we say Zdunowski, but in Poland, it's pronounced Zdunowski.
Oh,
Yeah.
well.
Right.
Is it
I'm
really?
taken back by that. Yeah, it is.
Well,
Yeah.
what's up with the ZD then?
The D silent. I don't know. You know, I'm not from Poland.
All right. Well,
Never
something-
been there.
something to look up later.
Never plan on going.
Good morning, Brian. Good morning, Brian Woodward. How are you, buddy?
Yeah, good morning, Brian. Hey. So, Josh,
Wait, is that BJ?
Yep.
yeah.
Hey, what's up, Brian?
Yep.
Welcome to our table where we are real and raw here, and we love it. Like this is like, and you said you were prepping.
I'm glad
You
to be
were
here. Thank
ready?
you for having me.
Yeah,
Were you like
I
in the
know, right?
mirror, like,
No, not that kind
Oh,
of prep.
okay.
You know.
like getting ready for the raw.
But you can't
huh?
prep for something you don't know what to expect. I don't know what kind of questions you're going to shoot at me. So
Oh man, it's
really,
just
really tough ones?
laid back stuff.
Oh,
you
we're gonna
know
go-
that's what we are. We're laid back. We can talk about the real stuff of life.
Absolutely.
you
Yeah.
can tell by our dancing this morning.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's going to be a pretty serious conversation. Right?
Yeah, real serious. Jamie, man, where have you been?
Oh my goodness, I've been around.
Really? Tell me about it. Where have you been?
I've been at home and here.
Yeah.
Mhm.
How's life been?
Good.
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 That's awesome.
Yeah.
Still
Staying
going
busy.
strong.
Going strong. Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Softball. Softball's hard on
It
me.
is. It is.
Mhm.
Hadley
though.
started softball and it's hard. on
And the
me.
weather hasn't even gotten like to
Oh,
where
it's-
you guys are suffering yet.
Mm.
Oh, we are in the cold
We are
well,
s-
yeah.
and the rain.
Wait till you
and I'm
start
just
sweating.
going to throw this out there: padded bleachers.
hmm
Yeah.
Maybe warm
Back
seat
problems
warmers.
I have.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. When Lulu, my youngest, was like out there on the field when she was like 5, and like she was out there for maybe like 2 minutes, and I seen her throw her little glove down, and she walked off. Little jaws was all red, and she come to me, and I was like, oh my gosh, like looking around, I was like, and I walked her to the car, you know, like all disappointed. I got her in and we pulled off, and I was like, baby, it's okay. Yes, because that is a hard sport, man. You gotta be built in a special way as a parent to handle that sport, and as a child to handle that sport. Now,
Yeah.
I do not recommend or like, you know, like support like quitting. That you gotta be built.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like y'all gotta be built.
It
Oh, yeah.
takes like it's tough one with like their attention span. You can tell they kind of. after a little while, they kind of like start
It's
going,
tough. Yeah. With mine, yeah, they're looking, they're like bird watching. Yeah.
Yeah, BJ knows all about that. You know, his son picking flowers and stuff. But
Yeah.
he's moved past that stage.
Aw.
Yeah, he can hit pretty good.
That's
Aw.
cool.
Brian was telling me.
Oh, my little woman had to go through several different little sports, and finally she found herself on the doing the cartwheels and the cheer and all that stuff. So she
Yeah.
finally found it, but it took many sports of just
That
took
takes some
many
dedication
sports.
too, though.
Yeah.
The cheerleading, like Kylie did cheerleading. Said it, didn't I? I'm gonna stop saying it.
Oh.
Yeah,
I don't know.
I'm lost. Yeah,
Okay.
you lost me.
What?
What'd you say?
Her
Come on,
name?
You got to repeat it.
Wow. We're not supposed to?
Cheerleading is a tough sport.
That's
I
one of the
can-
that's one of the most dangerous sports.
I can realize.
Yeah.
It
well,
takes some dedication for those girls.
yeah, I mean, you got to stretch. You got to get, like, if you make one wrong move, it's over.
Yeah.
Like, you could pull something. Shoot, I'll never forget the time I bent over to pick ketchup up and pulled something in my back and was like out for 3 weeks. Like, man, I picked the ketchup up. How do
especially-
you explain that one?
It
Well,
was a case of ketchup, right?
Yeah.
Bottle of ketchup.
Especially if you're a flyer. You know, the
Travel
ones that get
size,
tossed up in the
probably.
air.
Yeah, that's scary.
Oh yeah, you have faith the guys are going to catch you and not drop you.
You got faith these 8th graders are gonna catch you. Like, all right.
Oh my
Yeah.
gosh, y'all remember? Have y'all seen that one where it's like the coworkers are behind him and they're like, you got to have faith, whatever. And the dude is
Yeah.
like, oh, he's like, eyes are closed and they're like, fall, and he falls frontwards instead of backwards. on the
Oh.
team. Have you seen it?
No,
Don't. We'll have to share it to him. It's so funny.
I thought you were talking about the bungee jumping one. They did the same thing for a guy bungee jumping, and he thought he was way up in the air, and when he fell, he just smacked right into the ground.
No, I haven't
thinking he
seen
was
that
going to
one.
bungee jump. Yeah,
These people,
Yeah.
man,
he just
Try-
laid there.
trust, faith, and like all that. That's hard to get.
Yeah.
Especially when you are in recovery.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So I want to know a little bit about you. And I remember back, it's been a few years
Yeah.
ago, I believe.
Mhm.
It was the first time I think I ran into you. You were down on like I don't know what street
Right
it
over
was
there in
Monroe.
the shopping center, walking down towards BJ's house, I believe. That
Yeah,
direction.
you were
Yeah.
walking down that way, and a friend of mine, Laura Beth, we were out riding around, and when we see people walking, I usually pick them up. I'm a person of like, I see you walking, that's my opportunity to get you in the car, talk to you about Jesus, try to figure out, where you're at in life. And I
Yeah.
seen you and put the window down, was like, hey,
Yeah, it startled me at first. I didn't know what to expect. I'm like, whoa, I don't know these people.
but he jumped right on
They're
in.
picking me
Stranger
up. Yeah,
danger.
and she did exactly what she said she was going to do. She asked me if I needed help, and she was there to support. And it was kind of odd because you don't find people like that who just pick you up, offer support, and then drop you off and say, here's our card. Call us if you ever need anything. And I
Yeah.
can't believe I ever called you because
Yeah.
I guess I wasn't ready to have support. I guess.
What happened in life after that?
Oh man, you could definitely go online and see where I was for a lot of that time. For the past 6 years, I think I ended up doing some time, 3.5 years. It was like a revolving door. I was like, in and out, in and out, in and out. So majority of it was behind bars.
Really?
Yeah.
Man, I hate to hear that, but I mean, it led you here.
Yeah. It actually, jail made me the person I am today. I study people in the jail and I'm like, I don't want to be like that guy. So I'm going to change that about myself because I don't really like him like that, So I kind of critiqued myself by watching people. And, I learned a lot being in jail. I accomplished so many things. I got so many certificates in so many different areas of life, from parenting to relationships to, I even got a couple certifications, my certs, so I didn't just sit around doing nothing. I actually was self-analyzing myself, trying to figure out how to be better so I can stay out of jail, because it sucks being in jail. Jail's easy. It's just, you got to adapt. That's the easy part. And what Richie taught me was, that's a cop out. That's the easy way out because you have no responsibilities. You have nothing to do. They feed you, they, clothe you, you got a bed, but that life is over. That's no life to live. And right now in recovery, I'm experiencing the impact of being sober. And I've never felt this before because I started using at a young age. 18 years old, I started using.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
I wanted to be popular. I wasn't very popular in school. I had acne. I was chubby. I had a bully who became my best friend after that, after we graduated. But yeah, it was a popularity thing. And as soon as I started using meth, man, I felt like a king. I felt like I'm blowing all my money trying to keep these people around. And really, they didn't give a shit about me.
Right.
You know, and
It's funny how drugs make you feel like you're on top of the world there
Yeah.
for a while.
Yeah,
You
they
know,
give you a
you're
false sense of, empowerment, and
Mhm.
it's just ridiculous, And at the time, I couldn't see it because I was in the midst of it. But now that I'm not, I look back and I'm like, what the fuck was I doing? Like,
Yeah.
what was I doing? Like
Yeah.
that was the dumbest shit. Because now, look, I'm still paying for it today.
Oh,
You
right.
know?
And where are all those people that you were trying to impress?
I have no idea.
Right.
I asked myself that, but a lot of those people, that's one of those unanswered questions that I've always asked myself, like, how come I got addicted? Those people I used to use drugs with, they grew up, moved on with their lives.
Right.
You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And it's like, why me? Why was I the one that couldn't move on?
I think a lot of us have that question with certain people in our lives, like why me? Like why
Yeah.
did that happen to me and not? But a pastor once told me, why not you? Other people may not be built for this lifestyle of recovery. Other people may not be built to make it through. When you go through this lifestyle of recovery and addiction, it like the sport.
Yeah.
It all circles around. You got to be built
Gotta be
a certain
dedicated.
way and get through it. And unfortunately, a lot of people do not make it. It is a fight for your life,
Mhm.
and I think that's why we're it takes a person of just fight and dedication to even get through this life
Oh,
of addiction.
100%.
It's definitely a struggle.
Yeah.
It really
Life's
is.
not easy. I mean,
It's
life
not
is
easy
not
anyway
easy.
to
No,
anybody. So
no.
when you throw addiction on top of it, it's like, my God.
Yeah, absolutely.
Whew.
And that's something you gotta fight for the rest of your life. Like,
For
you
the
know what I
rest
mean?
of it,
That's-
yeah.
yeah. But
Yeah.
so you were locked up this last time when they offered you drug court?
I actually asked for drug court.
Did you?
And then come to find out I didn't have a place to go. So you need an address.
Mhm.
So I was going to go to Gemeinschaft. And then by the grace of God, the PO called my mom. Daniel Devers called my mother and explained to her the situation, how the program was. And she gave me one more chance.
That's so awesome that she
And,
did that.
yeah.
We're working with it's so many people that don't have that opportunity. I wish that we had some sort of like specific place here in the county that would work with people who don't have the family support.
Mhm.
That we could have like that house of like, okay, that you can go to that house for drug court or recovery court.
Yeah.
Because a lot of the families do write us off, and don't give that last chance.
Yeah.
But for him to take that step of let me go, or the phone call, or even physically going to the parent's home and saying, let me take this extra step for this individual
That's
to
Daniel.
explain it.
Yeah.
Good dude.
That's a mission right there.
Yeah. I'm fortunate enough to have a mom who cares for me, unconditionally. But again, the family, you got to have family support, but there's people that don't. Their family is users, they
Yes.
can't go home because their family uses. And that's gotta be really tough when you can't go home because you might start using again. And I'm really fortunate.
Well, as community, I think that's our next step here is we post about it all the time, community effort. It's going to take community to make that change. And I think where we need to go to change that is we're going to need help. And that comes into with a nonprofit.
Yeah.
Because a nonprofit, if we could come up with land and a space and housing's where it's at.
Mm-hmm.
If we can come and create that safe space to where we can work with our recovery court system.
Yeah.
And not only that, but have it a place where people can come to that's a 24/7 operational place for that. I think that's where the next level is of change. I
We
mean,
need
we're
it.
already seeing so much change. Anyway.
Yeah, we are. It's going to take time, but there are those people who, still look down on us, that damn stigma that people have,
Oh, yeah,
like, I don't want that
definitely.
place next to my house. I don't want those people next to my house. They might break into my house type stuff.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's a work in progress, but
It definitely
I've seen so
is.
many businesses come like, that the council doesn't want to keep in town, because it's an eyesore, or that's not the type of town we're trying to portray to the tourists.
We had that
know?
situation here at the house. I had to go in front of, the board and this and that. And one of the statements that was made was, well, we don't want that here. What if that house turns into a drug house?
Mhm.
Well, what if? But the beautiful thing is, what you thought, could happen. Look what is really happening.
Yeah.
With community support. We're over here baking cookies and getting children back in custody and building lives
Mhm.
back in order with community support.
Yeah.
That one individual that made that negative statement, look at the positives.
Yeah.
That's where the
Yeah.
stigma has to change.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
You gotta change that mind thought. You know what I mean? Get out, because like I said, the county needs resources.
Yeah.
And housing is one of the biggest problem areas we have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For people in recovery
And transportation too. You know, I love that
transportation, too.
Medicaid cab, the Medicab.
Yeah.
Man, yes.
But yeah, it's
So one of the topics that we wanted to bring to the table this morning is attitude. You know, attitude of individuals. When it comes to attitude's everything. Like when you walk into a room, you can feed and you can feel off of another person's attitude.
Yeah.
When you went into recovery, how was your attitude going in?
Oh, shit.
First jump street. Like, of course you stepped back and you felt other people, you was reading other people, but did you immediately have this attitude of like, all right, I'm going to do this? Or did you fight yourself for a while? What was the attitude like?
I did have it. I was like, you know, I could do this. But at first I thought, you know, all this shit's theoretical. Like nobody really wants to help somebody like me. Nobody really wants to sit down and listen to my problems, reach out to them. They'll help you. So that kind of kept me at bay. I'm like, no, I don't want to call people. I don't want to tell people about this because I kept it a secret. But as the more as I progressed in this program, I'll use that for an example. There's so many people that have my back. Like I could call anybody, you know what I mean, and tell them about my issues, and they listen. You know, they offer support. And then as it went on, it's starting to become normal. You know, at first I didn't want to recover. I'm like, no, I don't want to give it. Nobody wants to say, hey, stop doing drugs. You know, because that was everything to me. That was the love of my life, my crutch, my best friend. I couldn't leave the house without him. You know, and it's like, I don't want to give that up. But then on the other side of the coin, I knew if I gave that up, I can have a lot more and live a very abundant life without it. And, you know, and it's tough in the beginning because you're like, no, you want to run back to comfortableness. You know, you want to run back where you feel safe.
The comfort zone.
The comfort zone, but you don't move forward if you're back in the comfort zone. You
Right.
know, you got to be uncomfortable in order to, you know, learn more about yourself, see what you're capable of. And so many people told me, like, you are a leader. You have, you know, you could do this. Like, we see something in you. And I'm like, I don't see it. You know, well, you know what I mean? And it's like, so now that I'm moving on, I see those qualities that people told me I had, you know, and it's amazing. It's like amazing what people say to me now on the street. Oh, you look great. You look healthy. You look this, you look that. And I'm like, well, cool, you know, because
that support system is a game changer. Once you realize that it's there and that you can actually use it, that you have people, like I said, you can call and be like, yo, I'm struggling.
Yeah.
And they're gonna be like, well, tell me about it.
Yeah.
Like that's a game changer.
Yeah, it's everything. And both of you are still in recovery court. You're a recovery court graduate. So after you go out of that program, how is life really without it? I mean, I know sometimes you still have that the days.
I mean, well, yeah, I have the days all the time. I did in recovery court, but I mean, it's not a lot different for me. I guess because I still work around people. You know, I still I still do therapy and stuff like that. But there are days when, you know, you don't have to take a drug test twice a week and it's a shitty day. You know what I mean?
That addictive personality starts talking to you. You know
Hell
what I mean?
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's a struggle, but you come out of recovery court with all these things you've learned, all the stuff you can take away from it. And you just have to revert. You have to revert back to it. You know what I mean? You have to really like hone in on the stuff they've taught you.
Put it into action.
Yeah.
Your life flashes before your eyes, so to speak. You feel about you think of the people you'll let down, your children.
Yeah,
you know,
I mean, like they always say, play that tape back.
Yep.
Yeah. And like in an instant though, for me, sometimes I don't even think like, oh yeah, I've got all this stuff riding on it. You know what I mean?
Right.
You have to give it a couple minutes or a couple hours. But I don't know, it's just so much easier now having the skills I've learned in recovery court to not use.
Right.
You know what I mean?
How does that help your attitude in a day? Like
what?
Like with recovery court, going through that program, how has that helped your attitude from before?
Oh my God. Well, I mean, my attitude's still not up to par, probably.
It's a whole lot better than what it was.
Yeah, I mean, I was just the most miserable person ever. I hated being in my own skin. You know what I mean? Like I just hated it. I mean, it helps. I feel like I can do it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Life's better.
Yeah.
Attitude's hard to change, though. I mean, you got to be strong-minded and, you know, strong-willed to
and
change your attitude from anger. Because if you don't, your emotions will drive your decisions. You know what I mean? Your
Right.
circumstances. Other people will drive your decisions. You'll make stupid decisions and then look back on them in hindsight and go, what the fuck?
And that's
Yeah.
what we were talking about this morning. Like, if we were saying that if somebody comes at you with a bad attitude, like right out the gate, like
Yeah.
you get a message, you get a phone call, something, and you know, it's up to you how you respond.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And you can get sucked into that bad and negative energy, and it can affect your attitude. But you can step back and say, wait, I'm not doing that
for the entire day.
Excuse me, sir.
Yes.
Yeah.
First off, how are you this morning? You know what I mean?
That's
Yeah.
tough.
You
That's
start-
tough.
It is.
That's real tough.
Because you almost immediately want to just like, what do you
Right.
message me with this?
Yeah.
Like, say,
Cash me outside.
right,
Yeah.
right. Absolutely.
I just had an instance yesterday where somebody brought me out of character, and I'm just like, da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah.
And on Snapchat, by the way, everybody who don't know you know, they screenshot that stuff, and they screenshot it, and they can use that stuff against you. So like, you instantly resort back. Well, I'm just gonna go vape. I'm just gonna get a vape.
Yeah.
So I'm like 3 months of no vape, and here I am vaping again. I'm like, man, what am I doing? That's life.
Yeah.
That's life. There you are. Back, you know what I mean? That's
Yep.
where you gotta just like, all
gotta
right,
take
pump the
that
brakes here,
Yep.
honey. Like,
Take
Step
pump
back.
the
step
brakes,
back.
calm down. But we're human. Again,
Absolutely.
we're human. Here we are. Like it, but you just gotta be careful.
In
Like,
recovery, though, I feel like we have that ability to the awareness. There we go. That's that word I like. Awareness. So when you're even after you've been triggered and you're like, wait a minute,
Yeah.
what am I doing?
even after it was all done, it was already done.
Yep.
Screenshot done been happened. I mean, it's over with.
Yeah.
But you're like, man, that's
Yeah.
not who I want, and that's
That's-
not who I am.
Yep. I should have blocked them.
Why didn't I just?
Yeah. Why just block them?
Why didn't I do that? Like, oh man, darn. Oh well.
Open
I
mouth,
mean,
insert foot.
I
Yeah.
said what I said. I'm never the type of person to just like not, I admit it. I said what I said. So when
People
it goes
have
to
that.
blast, I
Yeah.
have to just say, I said what I said.
Certain people know how to press certain people's buttons and get them
Yes.
pulled right out
Oh
of
my
character like
gosh,
that. You know
it's
what I mean?
awful.
So like, you just have to
Be
reset.
silent.
Hold on.
Be silent.
We're in defense
speaks more
mode
than-
anyway.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
I'm ready to defend anything anyway that I'm going through. Like
Yep.
I'm, defense mode.
We're used to it having to defend ourselves. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? It's
I
So
still
it-
feel like though it's sometimes people just need it.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like that's how I feel.
like, wait
if
a
I
minute.
if I just like turn the cheek and shut my mouth and it just keeps happening, I'm like at some point,
You're gonna get told, and
Yeah.
because you just kept on pushing it.
Right.
So
But even-
now you're getting ready to get told what I feel.
But even though they might think you're, you might, if you're silent, which I think speaks more than running your mouth, that takes strength just to
Oh,
hold
yeah,
back
I
and be
mean,
like, okay,
yeah.
cool, you got
me
it, you
being
got it.
yeah. I mean, I'm a lot more silent now than I ever have been. But
You are.
I still just
You are from the day I met you, from the get go to now. Yeah, you are. You even keep me in line.
Yeah.
She looks at me and calms me down.
Accountability.
And I'm
Good
like, wow,
job.
Jamie,
Yeah.
thank you
Hey,
for
Jessica.
reminding me that this too shall pass.
I speak more when I'm sober. Yeah, I talk more when I'm sober. Yeah.
Jessica said good morning. She's glad to see
Hey,
Josh
guys,
doing good.
Yeah.
good morning.
What's up?
Yeah, man, life.
Yeah.
But you've came a long way.
Yeah,
You're
and it-
doing good in recovery court. And what step are you at now? What
I'm in phase 1.
phase 1?
Yeah. And I did have a
Just-
little, I wouldn't call it a setback. I call it a stumble. I did, have a positive urine screen the first week I was out.
Well,
I
yeah.
wanted that one last shot to see, like, all right, it's you and me again. We're gonna find out who's stronger. I
Yeah,
want to see,
just-
and it wasn't what I thought it was. It
Yeah,
wasn't
it's
like it used
never-
to be.
Yeah.
I felt guilt, shame, regret, like all of that, like an emotional sludge coming out. It was like, what the fuck?
Yeah,
Like this isn't how it's supposed to make me feel.
Right.
Yeah.
And it's like, God. And then, but I learned from it because I wasn't thrown back in jail. Richie gave me a shot. I had
Yeah.
to write an essay and, in which I learned more about myself writing that essay.
Thank God you lived through it too, because now
Yeah.
it's like so much is in it. We
Yeah.
don't know what we have anymore. Like when you get that and you don't know you just don't know.
Mm-mm.
People are dying.
Yeah.
Like people are literally dying when they are using now.
Yeah.
And it's scary. So that's another thing that the reason why we created this, this podcast and like awareness is like, one of the girls that came here and made breakfast here at the house, she has a sister or had a sister that relapsed after 8 years and used, and and passed away. You know, she doesn't have her sister anymore. Used one time.
Scary.
Yeah.
It's scary. Like we have a real problem, and but we can come up with real solutions,
Yep.
and that is making awareness. Knowledge is power. Like
Creating the support system.
yeah, that's what we have. So when we do get in those mindsets and like not knowing who to talk to, who to reach out to, now we know, like, you know, reach out to each other.
Yeah.
Let's talk about it.
100%.
That shows how strong and powerful addiction is. You know?
Oh yeah.
When I was at CCAP, I was the senior coordinator. So, you know, of course you had to talk to the people, you know, and I learned that in the big book of AA, it talks about how it's cunning, powerful, and, you know, whatever.
Yes.
And, you know, but I like to say that addiction is patient, because addiction will wait. It doesn't matter how long. It'll wait till your life is too stressful, till you're too joyous, and
It'll
even wait
outside.
till you're not paying attention anymore. You know, it's lurking in the shadows,
in the driveway with the car running, saying, "Come on, buddy."
Yeah, it's waiting. You know, and then
yeah.
then it just attacks you, and you know, it's just addiction is a crazy thing. You know?
It really is. You can be doing the best in your life,
Mhm.
and it can take you, and you can be at a place where you're like, I got this, and you really think you got this, and you don't.
Yeah.
So yeah,
That's
it is.
It's.
But then I also think, like, was the addiction stalking me, or was I stalking it? You know what I mean? Like, because it was for the thrill of the hunt. You know, the thrill of the hunt, finding it. You know, that was part of the high. So was it I chasing the addiction, or was the addiction chasing me?
Right.
You know what I mean? So that's why it's so cunning. Like it tricks you into thinking that you're an addict when really we're not. I mean, everyone has their own personal addiction. You know, I mean, everyone's different, but you know, I don't really find meth addictive. You know what I mean? I think it's all up here. You know, because we're doing fine. You know what I mean? It's just
once you get over that, it's still there though. You gotta stay vigilant at all times. It was my escape for everything, for any problem throughout the day. It didn't matter what it was. It could have been blinking. I don't really feel like blinking.
I got a lazy eye.
Like, let me go. You know, it was my escape, my excuse for everything.
Yeah,
and it's been a challenge. It really has. When I got in the program, I had to stumble just like you. I was in front of the judge just like you. Like I went through the exact same thing. And I thought I was done. I thought I was out of the program. I was like, man, I've already messed up this soon in the program. Like they know I'm a lost cause. Like I'm gone. Same thing, Judge. She was like, calm down, bro.
Yeah.
You messed up. Yeah. You got this. He like I said, that man right there has motivated me. I can't even tell you guys how much. What do you say? Like
oh my gosh, yeah.
I love Judge Richie.
I do too.
You see the compassionate side of him when you're in recovery court.
Impact Ministries yesterday. I love what he said when he said, "Everyone out there, do this: breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth." You feel that?
Jamie didn't do it.
Do it again. You feel that? That's life.
You're alive.
You're alive. You have purpose right now. You have reason, and you have opportunity to take this moment and get out there and live.
Yeah. It's never too late.
We are not under the ground. You are not a lost cause.
Amen.
No matter who tells you you are, no matter who tells you are too bad, too far gone, you are not.
Pastor Brad's awesome.
Yeah,
he really is.
I used to think I was running out of time. Like, I got to do this fast, get back to where I was. You know,
I'm already 40.
Yeah, I'm already 43, and like, it's like, dang, like I have nothing to show for it. So I got to hurry up. But then I learned not to be, you know, I'd be gung ho. Like I'm willing, I'm active, but it's slow and steady.
Yep.
You know what I mean? It all fall into place as long as we don't use. You know, and
as long as we don't use
the biggest
today.
part out of it.
That's what I told one of the girls that called yesterday. She was, I told her, I said, just don't use today.
Yeah.
If you can, just today, focus on today. Don't use today. We'll worry about tomorrow. Today.
Yeah.
Make it today. And then, and we can't get overwhelmed with it, and that's what matters most.
It is.
I'm so proud of you.
So what are
Thank you?
I'm so proud of us.
What are you doing self-care wise? It's Health and Fitness Month.
Yeah, it is Health and Fitness.
Well, I'm feel like I'm pretty healthy. I exercise every day.
Do you?
Yeah, I got a home gym.
What do you do? Yeah, actually, I love it. Tell me about it. What do you work out do? What do you do?
How much do you bench?
Do you bench?
I don't have a bench.
Okay.
I'm just kidding.
I do push-ups and
Yeah.
I just calisthenics,
Yeah.
weight training. I got resistance bands,
Oh.
but that's what my go-to when I'm starting to have those negative thoughts.
Mhm.
Like it makes me feel better.
Mhm.
It releases those endorphins.
Yep.
I completely forget about what I was doing. Excuse me. I'll just put on Stephen Furtick. He's one of my main go-to pastors.
Oh, yeah?
I love Stephen Furtick, and
I haven't heard him.
I haven't either.
I have to listen to him.
Check him out.
yeah, he's really good. He's taught me a lot. But yeah, exercise is great. That's pretty much what I do.
Heart rate up, like really
Heart rate
high.
up. Yeah, I mean, and I keep it out in front of me because if I put it all away, I'm not going to do it. So everything I need to do is in front of me at all times.
That's
at the
awesome.
house,
Right.
you know?
Do you do cold showers?
No. At the end, I'll throw cold water on my face.
That's awesome.
Yeah, cold showers.
I just started doing
I
the
don't know
cold
if I can
showers.
take a cold
I
shower.
just started doing that.
Let's get an
myself.
ice bath.
Yeah. I mean, the whole polar plunge thing. I mean, that's what. I mean,
awesome.
it helped my knees when we did that. You didn't?
I
go.
didn't do it.
I'm telling
Next
you,
year.
it took my knee pain away.
Wow.
When I jumped into that cold water.
Another
yeah,
thing.
I'm sure it did.
Well, start doing the cold bath. I'm telling you.
Yeah, they do in what country is it? Russia? Some country over there. They go into a hot sauna and then
Yeah.
they jump into the cold water,
Yep.
and it's supposed to be.
I mean, I'd
It's like
rather do the
Norway.
opposite, but I
Norway,
guess
something like
Yeah.
that. Ice, yeah.
I'd rather do the opposite. But I guess if you because the hot would just
Yeah.
be there forever.
Lay in that tanning bed, then hop in the hot
Yeah.
shower, in the cold shower.
Yeah, that's awesome though that you're working out, and it does make you feel better.
It does,
It does.
yeah.
I love working out too. I
Yeah.
really do. I try to get to the gym or do a run or something, at least like 4 times a week.
Yeah.
At least.
It's good for you mentally too.
Yeah.
It really is. Feel better about yourself.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
I don't really eat too healthy. Candy is what I eat all the time. I guess because I'm replacing the drug with candy, sugar. You know what I mean?
I love ice
So,
cream.
Yeah,
Yeah, I went all the way to Dairy Queen and
don't get me.
Elkton just to get ice cream yesterday.
That's dedication.
We
right
went to
there.
Flossie's.
Dedication.
That cake batter ice cream they got
Oh.
on there is
Oh,
amazing.
I haven't tried that. What is it,
It
Jamie?
was a tablecloth.
My God. I thought it was a snake. What?
That is.
I seen that bun move fast. I was like, oh my God.
That bun's flopping all around.
Your voice is better.
Jamie, you want to read what's coming up? Read half of it anyway. My
Where are
voice,
we at?
it's healing, y'all. My vocals
You sound
are
better.
healing.
Yes, Celebrate Recovery. Mondays, 6 p.m. Childcare is provided. Main Street Baptist, free indeed, 6:30. Tuesday nights, childcare is provided. Oh, that's on Newport Road in Shenandoah. 23 West Main, AA at noon. Today?
Yep.
Rec Center, Audrey,
Cash App.
Cash App Living, Legacy Luray.
Shout out Audrey.
Yeah.
Yes. Valleys Rise Above, Cash App.
Yeah. If you want to donate, you can go there.
First Steps to Freedom, 3:30 Shin Elk Plaza, 7 p.m. on Thursday. March for Jesus.
That's coming up for the March for Jesus. Another Thursday meeting is New Life Recovery at Grace Covenant in Harrisonburg at 6:30. And then the Hellfighters, April 24th through the 27th. We are already fully booked, but if you're interested in going with us, just hit us up and we can navigate you to the right place to go. And you could still hang out with us and join us, but you'll just have to book separately in a different location. And that is at Hatfield and McCoy's in West Virginia for that trip. I'm excited about that too, by the way, guys.
100%.
We're going to be doing ATV rides that weekend. Our phones do not work. So I'm going to be
Perfect.
off the chart for
Perfect.
4 full days. Jamie's going to be running A Fresh cleaning, and it's just going to be fun. I'm so excited. Jamie is too.
Yes, I can't wait.
Pastor Tim on the 4th Friday of every month, he's going to start open mics down there. I don't know what's going to happen with that, but Alex is going down with a guitar and he's going to try to sing.
Yep. That's not true.
You play guitar?
No, I don't.
Play
Actually.
the guitar?
Well, honey, he's going to go down there and try to sing us some country music.
Did that just happen?
Yeah.
I mean, it's cool. I mean, I don't think anybody. All right, that's our little secret. Let me elaborate on the Celebrate Recovery. Next week I do childcare. Till the end of May, every other week I do the childcare. So bring your children.
What are you?
That sounded awkward, didn't it? No, but I'm helping with I'm helping with childcare, and I get along with kids really well.
I drive
so.
a big white van.
I drive a big white van. I got donuts. Hop in.
Thank you all for joining us today. Thank you,
Oh
Josh.
my good. Thank you for having me. This was great. This is great.
It's gonna be a great day. Happy Monday, everyone.
Happy Monday. Yeah. Thank you. I'll see you there. Wow. That was icing on the cake right there.
Oh man.
How do you feel about that? Does it make you want to go use Alex?
What got me was the bring your children.
Bring your children.